Time for a new intro. Welcome to Create LARPs for All LLC. You can email us at createlarpsforall@gmail.com. Like, share, subscribe, dig into the content. Eventually there's going to be a website. If you'd like to help out, if there's any way to do so, there'll be something in the description. Still trying to figure all this out. Hope you enjoy the video. Now, as players get into this, they may actually want advanced encounters. They may decide, hey, we're good, we're learning, we're figuring this out. We realize that working together, maybe they're getting really good at stacking the musician and chef skills. They've got a lot of instant skill usages. They're knocking challenges out, and they're like, all right, we want some fights where people are really going to get dropped. It's going to be deadly. Then you can move towards advanced encounters. That's where you do 100 to 120% of all players involved in a combat or situations max hit points. So the monsters literally have the same amount or more hit points than the players. And that's where you can start hitting as high on one creature as 35. But never more than 10, maybe 15 per player. Damage per monster. So one hitting as high as 35, and then a couple hitting at like a 5 or a 10 to bring the average down so that it's still winnable. Otherwise, you end up at a point where the monsters out damage and have more hit points than the players. They're just going to lose for sure. Now, if the players are all maxed out on block and dodge, they've stacked themselves with a lot of instant usages. They can block 20s every now and then, bring his damage that they're actually taking down to 15 for a few hits, and swing for 20. Then you've got a group of really well-oiled adventurers. They can probably handle an advanced encounter. Some of them will get defeated, but it'll be a good fight. It'll be a memorable fight. Now, another thing that you can do for players that really just want to experience this, I don't recommend this even with players that are really, really good, is a deadly encounter. That's 120 to 140% of all player resources. The monsters have that in hit points. That's when they should also start healing each other and using skills to repair each other. I mean, they technically can in a standard encounter. But if the players don't have any healing, I wouldn't be having a monster at 80% of their hit points altogether being able to heal itself too. That becomes too hard for a standard encounter. But in a deadly encounter, they've got more resources than the players. They can hit harder than the players. They can heal from the players as well. I would want to keep the healing less than 15 per player or 10 per player. 10 per player, because then they have a lot to overcome in just one round of healing. I wouldn't give them more than like 120 heal in a round, because then the players really aren't making any progress. But deadly encounters, not for everyone. Maybe people start to enjoy it. Maybe you can play a deadlier game with the players that you have, but I wouldn't start there. Field battles. Field battles are always deadly encounters, and they should be known as such for people that want to go because of how this system is made. In other games, you can have field battles that are less, I mean, they're still deadly. You're going to usually get some players dropped or have them burn a lot of resources in other LARPs. And what do I mean when I say a field battle? A field battle is when a bunch of players get together and then monsters start spawning in and running them. You haven't calculated out how many are going to be there, how long the fight's going to go. You haven't set a maximum amount of what's going on. That's why they're always considered deadly. Because even if you're just sending goblins swinging 5s with 15 hit points that are going to get one-tapped by the people that know what they're doing, if they keep coming and keep coming, they're going to wear the players down. Now, technically in this game, if you keep the numbers low enough, maybe you could do it. It'd be a really difficult balancing act because you've got so many ways people can heal and deal damage. So if you had people healing and dealing damage and you were sending low numbers of monsters, it might be fine. I would really caution against it because you mess up a little bit, it turns into a TPK really fast. But a lot of LARPs love to have field battles. Now, I just know I cautioned against field battles, but a lot of LARPs love it. Like, they'll have a big Saturday night field battle where monsters are constantly pouring in, and players are, gathered in a circle. Maybe some of them have a defensive area set up, and they're healing and stacking people, and some people are getting dropped, and they're having to bring those people back and fight. And so they're trying to bring people back while the monsters are trying to kill everybody. If you're going to run a field battle, you need to set the goals. Maybe the players don't need to know everything because that's part of the fun, but you need to go, hey, there is a way to end the field battle. There is a way to get the monsters to stop showing up. And then you need NPCs to go around and drop hints, or maybe you have the NPCs running the monsters. You give them stipulations. Hey, come out swinging low, get more difficult as it goes on. Then I'm going to give them the way to stop the field battle. But you need to have a way for the players to win, even if that's just you hand them a giant magic laser that takes everything out. But you need to have a way to end it so that the whole LARP doesn't end with, and then everybody died. That's not a cool story. Even if there's no permanent death, if everyone gets defeated and that's the end of the story, that's a crappy story. We can get that in real life. For all of these calculations for a standard, deadly, advanced field battle, do not include the cosplay or heroic inspiration characters. Yes, they can contribute a +5. That still doesn't ever let a player get over 20. And the heroic inspiration people, their points towards anything don't count. They're cosplay people. They're hanging out. They're having fun. Now, if they stack someone else with a 5 or help someone do a skill faster, that does technically help, but they're not part of the calculations. They technically have hit points like everyone else, but they shouldn't be fighting, and if they are, they're swinging once. They don't gain stacks like everybody else. I don't know if I mentioned that very well earlier in this. But heroic inspiration people are just there as support. They're set dressing. They're having fun. They're also never in danger. They always get out of situations. They're the side characters that just sort of like, oh, that was crazy, and then walk away, or they're hiding in the woods, or they're the NPCs that witness all the cool stuff. But they are players. But they're not going to count towards the calculations for hit points or for getting a 20, because they're almost never going to be able to throw a 20 because they only have the heroic inspiration skill. Hey, thanks for making it through the video. If you have any questions, again, email us at createlarpsforall@gmail.com. Sometimes I can remember things. Comment on the video, like, share, subscribe. Have a wonderful day, night, evening, morning, whatever time it is for you when you watch this. Keep being amazing. Play games. Have fun. See you next time.